talking about this article I want to touch on about children born this year have the potential of living to 130 years old with the medical technology that's out there now. Get that. If you're born now, year 2000, a couple of years in the future, whatever, the potential is you could live to be 130 years old. Imagine the goddamn drivers then. Oh, my God.
Well, screw that. All right, so a baby's born around now, or whatever, give or take a few years.
Right now, you have the potential of reaching, not the average age.
What about guys like you and I in our 30s?
We're doomed, dude.
Is it still, we only have to what, like 80 or so?
No, let me
pushing 100.
Let me look at the chart. You're born in the 60s. Mm-hmm. You have the potential of making it 105 years old. 105. That's not the average age, mind you, of death. That's like, pretty much how old you can get.
That's like stretching the...
That's pushing it.
The life boundaries.
Yeah. But now they're saying that children born today could live to be 130.
130.
Now, after like 80, I guess, maybe 80 years old, if you really keep yourself in shape, you're 80. It's pretty much over. I'm sorry, but what are you going to do past 80? Your sex? Wait, what's sex? And who are you having sex with? 80-year-old women? 70-year-old women?
Well, maybe if you're 80, they look good.
Unless you got Anna Nicole Smith thing, but you need quadruple billions of dollars.
Right.
But for the most part, you have now 50 more years. If you're 80 years old, you have 50 more years to contemplate how you're not getting sex from attractive women.
I don't know.
How you're rotting away.
Maybe you go in those old age homes and you're getting it, man.
Yeah, but look at what you're...
Yeah, but you got the cataracts, your brain's not completely there. Maybe it's like good, it's nice sloppy sex.
All right, it's time for Opie to view Century Sex again. It's time for Opie to look at Century Sex, the video of the 100-year-old lady getting banged. Because... Do you want to have sex with E.T.?
No.
Remember, she looked like E.T.
No.
Her body, gravity had pulled everything from her upper body down to her hips and stomach. So she had these saggy boobs on this skeletal shoulder frame, and then the hips and thighs were big and fat. E.T.
Yeah, the hips still went out.
Yeah, E.T. So now you have 50 years. So what happens? You reach 120 and you're like, 10 more to go.
10 to go.
10 to go. I'm on the big death countdown.
Maybe when you get to that age, though, you just don't know.
No.
You don't know what you're missing. I swear to God, that's what I'm hoping.
You know something? You better hope that, because I don't think that's the truth of the matter.
Because I think, I'm hoping when I hit, like, 60, then I don't know what I'm missing. If I have to walk around, like... and I'm in my 60s or 70s, and I'm seeing these hot pieces of asses all over Manhattan, and I can't have a taste, I will jump off a bridge. I'm just hoping my brain goes
and bridge,
and maybe my libido goes.
Pick a bridge. That's
going to be the worst nightmare,
dude. You want to taste a reality? All those things that you think about now, you're gonna think about
when you get old.
When you get old, there are people in the old people, 80 years old, that are like afraid to fly. I know these people that are afraid to fly because they're afraid the plane might crash. Take the chance. You're going to miss out on Aruba and the Bahamas. I swear I know people, old people that are afraid to fly. Get your ass on the plane. What do you go, oh, geez, you're missing out on 3-4 more years? And you're passing up the chance to go and see things you've never seen before? Holy mother of crap. What? Can you believe that? 80 years old, I'm afraid to fly. Get your wrinkled ass in that seat. If it goes down, Jesus, who cares?
Man.
Look at the poor bastard in his 20s sitting next to you. Feel bad for him. But, PB, which just proves my point that you're still thinking like, I don't want to die. I want to get laid. I want to do this. So this is going to be a day. We're going to be like, we're going to be walking around Manhattan.
our pants pulled up to our nipples. We're going to have the Terminator sunglasses on.
The white, like, polyester pants, like the golf pants that the old guys wear.
Are we going to have, like, the walkers with the brakes?
The walkers with the wheels and the handbrakes, which I still completely don't understand.
With the tennis balls on the end of
the end of it, so they don't scrape up the little rubber pads.
Right.
You see, the handbrakes.
So we're going to be walking around.
Watch it, I'm coming through.
So we're going to be walking around Manhattan. Some hot piece of ass is going to walk by us.
And you're going to look.
Mambo boobs, tight-fitting outfit, those fine leather pants that all the women are wearing nowadays.
Yes.
Huge cleavage. And you're going to be thinking, oh, my God, I wish I could have that.
Yes. Of course, Opie, they will all be wearing sort of a tinfoil-ish spacesuit that far in the future. And we'll all be in space cars.
Yeah, of course we will.
Just like we were promised when we were kids. So I don't know how the ass and boobs are going to look in that Mylar suit with the little space agency emblem over the boob. But regardless, you will look and say, I would like a piece of that. How much longer? 50 more years. This is great.
God, that's going to suck.
You know, the best you could hope for is like that Jack LaLanne MRFer who, like, took care of himself and exercised. He was 80 years old, and he's pulling a train with his teeth and stuff. But, that's the only train he's pulling. Because, you see, he's still married, and he's got his wife, and he's like, oh, I took care of myself. You didn't make the commitment, huh, honey? Now he's got to deal with that.
Danielle is getting depressed by us today. We're supposed to make people happy on a Friday. Danielle, what's going on?
You guys are depressing me.
Why?
What's the problem?
Because I'm 29. I'm having a midlife crisis, and you're making it worse.
Well, why don't we just have the first annual O&A orgy?
Yeah, so we can all look back when we're old and say, hey, well, at least we got that.
Why don't we have just one massive banging?
You know, Anthony, I am afraid to fly, but you just made it where, I don't know, now I have to.
Take the chance.
I will.
Take the gamble. and the older you get, God damn, flying a crop duster that's doing barrel rolls at that age, because who cares? What the hell are you waiting for?
Danielle, let's bang tonight.
You want to?
Have some of that unprotected sex like we were talking about.
Yeah, what the hell?
But 130 years old. Could you imagine living to be 130?
I have a great ass now. I should send you a picture of it now, so when I get older, you can remember that I had a nice ass now.
Oh.
All right, cool. Well, yes, we love when you girls send in the body parts.
Sure, we don't mind.
We don't mind.
We'll hang it up in the office.
Yes.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
Do you know anybody, honestly, over 80 years old that is enjoying the lifestyle that they enjoyed when they were in their 30s and let's even say 40s? No.
But at that point, I don't know.
You know, you see the people, you go over the house, and you're like, oh, Grandpa's doing so well. This is so great. You know, it's wonderful. Oh, look at Grandma. She's 85 years old, and I'll tell you, she's sharp as a tack, and she goes, you know something? She walks to the corner herself with the cart and does her own shopping. Ooh, wow. God damn, she's storming a castle.
What happened to the days where she was having sex on her hands?
Exactly. Right. Doing back handsprings and landing on penis. You know, it's all relative, but then that's what the point I'm getting is 130 years. What the hell kind of lifestyle? Now you're just extending the crappy part of the life.
But we don't know that. Science is like an amazing thing, Anthony. We are doing things today that we couldn't do, 20 years ago?
Not that amazing. It's the equivalent of just bleeding with leeches. We haven't come that far. Where's the goddamn little thing Bones used to go over the body and do that? Where's that? And how come in the episode where they all got old, Spock got old right along with him, and Vulcans lived to be like 200? Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Maybe when our body parts get old, we'll just get new ones.
What, like they'll sew them on or grow them like a lizard's tail?
I don't know. What about the guy we talked about it on the show where he got a brand new arm?
Sideshow freak.
He got
that isn't science.
He got a new arm from a dead guy.
Great.
To replace his old non-working limb.
No. We need to make the next step where you go into a chamber and get beamed with something and you come out and you're like, howdy do, where the chicks? Something. Not this piecemeal patchwork stuff that happens. We were promised all this in the year 2000, and we got jack.
And you know how you were saying that, like, older people should, take that chance and fly? Because what the hell?
Get on the plane.
I don't think you made Tom too happy about that.
What's the matter?
Tom, what's going on?
Yo, what's up, boys?
Hey.
It's a long story, but check it out. Anthony, you're going to freak out.
What?
My grandparents, they were in their late, about 4 or 5 years ago. My grandparents from their late 70s, they never traveled anywhere. Didn't want to go nowhere, afraid to fly, forbid to go on a plane.
So they hadn't been anywhere their whole lives?
Their whole lives, maybe Pennsylvania, Jersey, stuff like that. Never flew. 50th wedding anniversary, we finally talked them into a nice trip to Aruba.
How old were they?
Oh, God. My grandfather was almost 80. My grandmother was about 77 or something like that.
Yeah.
So they weren't too old, but they were old enough. Finally get them on the plane. After weeks of coaxing them, to get on the plane. Mid-flight, halfway to Aruba, they hit about 20 minutes of turbulence. My grandfather has a heart attack and dies on the plane. That's great. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you.
No, wait a minute. Are you kidding?
Listen, can I finish? The story gets better. Well, it doesn't get better. It gets worse.
God,
but
that's horrible.
All right. Keep laughing. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm saying that's horrible.
Tom, it's an uncomfortable laugh because it's just...
I know.
It really isn't that.
So what happened?
It isn't funny.
My grandmother is so distraught. Now, they don't turn the plane around, so they land in Aruba. They call my parents up, my uncle and my father. They get on the next plane. They go down it because my grandmother now, she won't get on a plane. That she's a wretch.
That's a long drive from Aruba.
Yeah, right? They'll call, what's that? Jaffa Car Service.
Jaffa Car Service.
Whatever.
They'll come and get you on time.
Well, check this out.
Yeah.
So my father and uncle go down there. They stay down there a week and a half because they just cannot get my grandmother on a flight. It's impossible. They just can't do it.
Oh.
Finally get her on, they sedated, they gave her some sort of medication to calm her down. They get her on a plane. They go back home to New York. About a month later, my grandmother's so distraught over this, she ends up dying.
Oh, my God.
So, you say take the chance in life, and, you get to a point where you don't care anymore. Meanwhile, 50th anniversary, the whole family's like cursed now because of it.
Well, you know something? Hey, what an adventure.
Yeah, some adventure, and...
And they were, so how many more good years did he have?
Yeah, but you know what? I look at it like, why couldn't this happen on the way back? At least we had a nice vacation under the belt. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. But what the hell are they going to do in Aruba? Bang in the hotel room? Go surfboarding? Go sailboarding? What, are they going to get a Kawasaki jet ski and tear it up in the bay? Yeah. No, they're going to sit on the beach and complain about the sun's too hot, the goddamn bones hurt, the food sucks.
They love the heat, because it'd be in mid-August, and they'd be walking around with these wool sweaters on, so they love the heat.
And you just described my last vacation.
Yeah, wait a minute, that was Opie. The weather sucks. Right. The food's horrible.
The weird thing is that the whole family chips in, everybody's got to pull in their money, make the plans, reservations, all this, that. Yeah. And the old crocodile.
Well, see, that might happen, but they should still get their ass on the plane. I understand. See, the odds are that everything will be fine. But sometimes things, yes, do happen.
And the thing about it was, the airlines wouldn't even give us a refund. They won't even, give us the money back or anything.
For the other trip back?
Yeah.
It was, if I count right, there's a one-way ticket from Aruba back that isn't being used.
I mean, they gave us a percentage of the flight fee, but I mean, it was nowhere near what we shelled out for it. I mean, it was ridiculous, man. It's horrible.
At least you got to enjoy the really bad turbulence.
Yeah, well,
all right, Tom.
Thanks, boys.
No problem, man.
Love my stupid radio.
I still thank you.
Tom, you did good.
I still stand by what I said. Old people should not be afraid to fly, to do anything. Get out there. Just going to find you sitting in your goddamn recliner anyway. when the phone calls aren't being answered and Junior goes over the house. That's all they're going to do. You might as well go out in a blaze of glory on some turbulence on the way to Aruba. So even though he didn't make it, that's still kind of cool. It's better than the old lady trying to wake him up in bed the next morning and all of a sudden, he's cold.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, come on.
He's cold. You're out of your mind today. Why are you in such a up mood?
Wait a minute. Wait, you can't say that.
You're out of your mind, though. Jesus.
Wow.
Anthony, lots of instant feedback coming in today. Bill from Cliffside. How nasty is a 130-year-old woman going to be? She's going to look like a deflated football.
My God, because at 70 and 80, the body is just being pulled down. The most you could do is hope to be like in your 60s and end up like some of these women that you see. Can you name one in their 60s that people still consider to be hot?
I bet you.
Raquel Welch, how old is she?
I was going to say, Raquel Welch has got to be
the other one, 60. Angie Dickinson, there. Jay Moore was just talking about her. You know, that's the best you could hope for. So let's even push it and say 70 years old. Things are really, and for the most part, 99% of the population by 70, it's over, Johnny.
What about Hugh Hefner, Anthony? He's living like he's in his 30s.
Again, it all comes down to the cash, and he's putting these naked women in his magazine. So he's got like a bevy of the girls that are coming up to him that want to be in the magazine.
Do you think he realizes that? But he probably doesn't even care.
If he was Hugh Hefner, the accountant, do you think these supermodel twin bimbos would be hobbing his knob?
No.
Hell no.
He would be married to, like, Joan Rivers.
Right. But you know something? That isn't even the point.
Right.
And then you get, like, imagine a 130-year-old woman. What gravity would do to 130 years, during 130 years. It would be like spending a normal lifespan on Jupiter, where the gravity is just like pulling the skin to your ankles. Boobs could hit the floor, literally, by 130 years.
All right. Pete from Long Island. It's like when my grandfather comes to my house, I know the first person he goes to say hello to is my girlfriend. The hug and kiss on the cheek he gives her is probably the closest he's had to sex in 30 years.
Oh, how sad is that?
God damn, does that suck.
A hug on a young girl. Oh, my God. Goes right over to her. Come here, honey. And old men and old women, the difference is, I mean, the branch goes out so far apart as you get older. Like, the old men are still thinking about the sex. The women, it's been over for so long that's it.
So you don't think the old women think about sex?
No.
In general?
In general, no. There's a few, ringers out there, I'm sure. But for the most part, the men are still like, they really want to have sex. I'm sure a lot of them are non-functional. But think of being a functional man in your 80s. You're still thinking about sex. And it's hard enough to find women now.
Right.
Imagine when the population has been cut by 90%, and then 90% of those don't want to have sex anymore. It's so over. Pete. He knows. He likes the girls in here. Our own engineer, Pete. Of course he does.
Pete. Well, you. What did he say?
What?
I don't do local shows.
Oh, he only goes on the shows that are nationally syndicated.
Pete's the engineer at WNEW. He's been here for what? For 35 years or something like that?
Yeah.
And Ben tried to get him in the studio to talk about having sex at an older age. We don't know how old Pete is.
Well, if he doesn't want to come in, we'll just talk about him without him in here, which will be 10 times worse.
And Pete said he doesn't do local shows because he's on the Don and Mike show a lot.
Yeah.
A show that is syndicated across the country. He likes doing syndicated shows, Anthony.
And he once strapped a dildo onto his chin and had a stripper sit on it,
right.
Opie,
right.
on the Don and Mike show. And, see, he enjoyed it. And he's got to be pushing, what, 75?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to come in.
Oh, he'll come in. All right, let's go to Linda.
Yes.
Hi, Linda. What's up?
Oh, I have an embarrassing story with my grandparents. It's about 10 o'clock at night. They're in their early 80s. We all get this phone call that the ambulance went to the house. They picked up my grandfather. They took him to the hospital. Turned out a couple of days later, we found out that they started getting a little frisky with each other. And he started getting chest pains in the middle of the act, and it just, now my grandmother's this little old tiny lady in house dresses, you don't even say boo in her house. And just the vision of the two of them.
Going at it.
Oh, forget it.
And I'm sure it's just like, it's probably just on the verge of rape because the woman really doesn't want to do it.
No,
it's like one step below rape.
I mean, just the girdle itself coming
Come on, give it to me. I haven't had it in 30 years, you bitch. Spread them.
It was nasty, though. I mean, it was just insane.
Oh, my God.
The vision now.
All right, Linda.
It's nuts.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah, you suck.
You don't want to.
I want to talk to some of these grandparents about banging, Anthony.
That's why I wanted to get.
Yeah, where's an old person?
Fred, what's going on?
My grandmother, she's 84.
Yeah.
she every time we talk to her, every time we go over, she says how good my grandfather was, and how he popped her cherry, and how he knew just when to pull out because she didn't want any more kids. So my wife and I came home from our honeymoon. Yeah. And she took her aside and she was asking, how was it? Was it good? Did you like it your first time? And I'm like,
that is disgusting.
Pretty cool, huh?
That gives you the heebie-jeebies. You don't like your grandma talking to you about sex.
My wife won't go talk to her by herself now. Somebody's got to go with her when she talks to her.
Grandma should just talk about, she went to the store, boo, the tomatoes are good. That's it. I don't want to hear anything about grandma sex.
That's what Grandpa said, too.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The tomatoes were good.
The tomatoes were good.
All right, Fred.
All right, boys. Thank you.
Her peach turned into an apple that stayed in the sun for a couple weeks.
An old apple. What are all the implants going to look like at 130 years old? All the cosmetic surgery. I mean, you've seen Joan Rivers. Mm-hmm. She's had all those facelifts and stuff, and now she's got like funny eyes. Looks like you just stretched a latex glove over the crypt keeper.
I think the breast implants.
Yeah.
Like, let's say a real hot girl with big, huge double Ds.
Yeah.
At about 40 to 50 years, let's say.
Yeah.
Just what it's going to look like. You take a bowling ball.
Right.
And you put it in a white sock.
A sweat sock.
Sweat sock. That's what they're going to look like.
There you go. Normal.
Oh, yeah. It'll still be very firm at the bottom.
Probably hard. They probably harden, solidify.
But it'll be sagging pretty damn low and stretching.
See how regular boobs get on old women from when we watched that Century Sex. Mm-hmm. They're like little thin tubes where they connect to the chest, and then they expand outward as they approach the nip, and then add implants. Ooh.
All right, Anthony.
Going to be able to spin them around.
We got to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a bit.